Good evening, everyone. I'm Rich Noonan.
And I'm Jill Chernikoff. There's a new sheriff in town, and his guns are loaded. And that's first on Fox tonight. Philadelphia has a new police commissioner. He's a no-nonsense New Yorker who's promising to make changes. His name is John Timoney. He was one of the commanders who helped to dramatically cut crime rates in New York City. We have team coverage tonight, beginning with Dave Schratweiser.
John Timoney is a policeman's policeman, a cop's cop in every sense of the word.
From the second Mayor Rendell stepped out of his office with John Timoney, it was obvious the mayor got the man he wanted to be the city's next police commissioner. The mayor hopes to bring New York City's crime-fighting success to Philadelphia, so he picked one of New York's top cops to do the job.
John Timoney brings to the job as police commissioner of the city of Philadelphia every type of experience that a police officer can have.
The 49-year-old Timoney is a highly decorated 29-year veteran of the NYPD. He worked his way up from a beat cop in the South Bronx to become the youngest four-star chief in New York history. He was a narcotics investigator, an expert on police shootings, and a top manager. He finished his Big Apple career in 1995 as the #2 man to celebrated Police Commissioner William Bratton. He promised results from the top down.
I will ride the streets myself. The proof will be in the pudding.
Timoney says he has a take-charge, hands-on management style, and he'll get to know the city by touring each police district individually. He'll meet with the rank and file and with community leaders to discuss problems and possible solutions. Timoney, who was born in Dublin, Ireland, says there are no instant solutions to Philadelphia's crime problems, but he says any solution has to start with the police on the street.
The police are well motivated, well led, well organized, well structured. They can have an effective deterrence to crime.
Timoney says nuisance crimes will get his attention, just as they did in New York City, but so will drugs, murders, and youth crime.
We give the commanders the responsibility for fighting crime, but we also give them the authority to work on my behalf. You have my authority. We support them with training and equipment. And then at the end of the day, they're held responsible for crime in that area.
Timoney will make $113,000 a year, a big pay cut from his job as a top security consultant. But he says there's no place he'd rather be than back in a patrol car. In Center City, Dave Schratweiser, Fox News.
To find out about John Timoney, one needn't look so far. He has left his mark on the men and women of the NYPD. George Mallet joins us now live from New York City. With that part of this story, George, how is John Timoney thought of in the Big Apple?
Well, Rich, I'll tell you, I found out the cops like him, his old boss loves him, why even the cynical newspaper reporters like him. So if I was dispatched to New York to get the dirt on John Timoney, I'm here to report that the dirt is hard to find. When John Timoney was introduced in Philadelphia, he was an unknown quantity. Mayor Ed Rendell described Timoney as a cop's cop, a guy we'd all like. That view of Philadelphia's new police commissioner is shared by William Bratton, the former top cop in New York City.
John is the consummate leader in that people willingly work for and will follow him. And he is also a manager extraordinaire. He knows the business of policing, the business of business inside out. So you've got the ultimate combination that gets things done, leadership and management.
To a large extent, Timoney smoothed things over with longtime New York cops, enabling Bratton to move in from Boston and take over in New York. So you'd expect Bratton to give a glowing recommendation. But New York reporters who populate cluttered offices at police headquarters gain nothing by singing Timoney's praises. And yet, they do. The New York Post's Murray Weiss is a 20-year veteran of the police beat.
I think he's very approachable. He's very bright. He's part of a younger sort of movement in top police officialdom. You know, he's got new ideas. He's willing to try different things. He's not wedded to old ideas. And basically, he's a very, very bright, honest, straightforward man.
Daily News police reporter John Marzulli also describes Timoney as being straightforward, although that's not the word he used.
John Timoney is a blunt-spoken person who speaks his mind and speaks the truth as he sees it. And he has been known to ruffle some feathers in some of his blunt pronouncements. And as you may know, when he left New York City, he left with quite a parting shot at the mayor of this city, calling him a bit nutty.
Many reporters in this town believe Timoney's refreshing tendency to speak his mind and be his own man may be the reasons he was passed over for the role of commish here in New York City. And cops on the street I talked to tonight, without exception, said that they believe Timoney should have gotten that job. I should point out none of the cops on the street are allowed to talk to us television reporters. And one cause for concern, William Bratton predicts that one day Timoney will have the job of commissioner here in New York City. Live in New York City, George Mallet, Fox News. Jill, back to you.
All right, George, thanks. Timoney replaces outgoing Commissioner Richard Neal. Neal had no comment when we caught up with him tonight as he was leaving work. But lots of other people are reacting to today's news. There's been a lot of criticism of the process in general and some high expectations. Bruce Gordon reports.
There was no search committee, no lengthy candidate Q&As. Mayor Rendell made the choice of John Timoney, and he made it quickly. City Council President John Street seemed okay with that.
And he has brought to us a person whose qualifications appear to be immaculate and up to the job.
Council's first real meeting with Timoney came after he'd been introduced to reporters. Most seemed impressed, but some wondered why local choices were rejected without so much as an interview.
It requires that you at least give people consideration, that you go through some kind of process that even seeks their views or their opinions.
Crime in Philadelphia has dropped, but not as fast as some would like. Many officers believe they get less credit and less pay than they deserve. The police union believes Timoney's first job is to boost morale.
If we're going to send these men and women out to do a job, they need to be supported at the top. This department doesn't need more managers. What we need is leadership.
And priorities. Murders, rapes, robberies, they're obvious. But local Town Watch leaders want Timoney to deal with crime at its most basic level.
Dealing with broken car windows, trash, graffiti, panhandlers, boom boxes, unlicensed driver. Quality of life is community policing.
The men and women who walk a beat have their own wish list.
I want an aggressive police commissioner. We want, want to stay on top of things, listen to the officers, any ideas, suggestions.
John Timoney takes on his new role amid well wishes and high hopes. But it's clear he'll also face some built-in animosity, some long-standing problems, and more advice than he'll probably ever want or need. Welcome to Philadelphia. At the Police Administration Building, Bruce Gordon, Fox News.
Neal's last day will be March 6th. John Timoney reports to work the following Monday, March 9th.
Other news now, a South Jersey teenager accused of murdering a neighbor boy kept a trophy from that murder. That's what prosecutors say about Sam Manzi. He was in court today for a hearing on charges of killing 11-year-old Eddie Werner. The trophy was a photograph that could prove to be the smoking gun in this case. Rich Maneri has that story.
Childhood is over for 15-year-old Sam Manzi. In an Ocean County courtroom, a judge ordered Manzi to stand trial as an adult for the rape and murder of 11-year-old Eddie Werner. The decision was made in part because defense attorneys did not dispute the opinion of a psychologist who examined Manzi.
His mental condition and mental illness is so severe that he cannot be rehabilitated by the time he reaches the age 19.
For the first time today, prosecutors revealed key pieces of evidence. Among them, a photograph taken from Sam Manzi's bedroom, which his mother gave to police.
Which was a Polaroid photograph which depicted the victim, little Eddie, lying with his stomach down in the bedroom, with his face to the side, with a belt and an electrical cord around his neck as if he had just been strangled. And
prosecutors called the picture Manzi's trophy for his work. Court papers also revealed that along with the photograph, Mrs. Manzi found $140 in cash in her son's bedroom. Money investigators believe Sam Manzi stole from his victim. Eddie Werner was selling candy door to door in his Jackson Township neighborhood as part of a school fundraiser. Evidence of that was found in a dumpster at the clinic where Manzi was receiving treatment.
We found the knapsack of the juvenile defendant, Manzi, and it contained the personal belongings, if you will, the clothing and the checks and ledgers, what have you, that little Eddie going around town.
The system is forcing Sam Manzi to grow up very quickly. Tomorrow afternoon, he is scheduled to make his first appearance in adult court. If eventually convicted, he could spend the rest of his life in an adult prison. Next week, Sam Manzi will face another important day, his 16th birthday. In Toms River, Rich Maneri, Fox News.
Maureen Kanka can relate to the pain the parents of Eddie Werner are feeling. Mrs. Kanka's daughter Megan was murdered by a child molester. Maureen Kanka will join Eddie Werner's father Ed.
Volunteer to record selected programs for teachers to use in class.
Okay, now what do we learn here today?
Now, Cable in the Classroom comes home.
In this half hour, the Good Morning Forecast, a comprehensive look at today's weather across the nation. At 40 After, TravelWise focuses on today's travel problems. Next, your weekend outlook. And at 50 After, the storm update. Right now on the Weather Channel, your local forecast.